Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Foundations.
We were actually participated in some Shabbat meals where husband and father sang to his wife. His wife just sat there, she just sort of melted to a puddle of goo next to him. We were kind of, that's so lovely, because she was being honoured.
Foundations. Understanding the Jewish foundations of our Christian faith. With Robbo Robinson and Mandy Warby.
Over the last few programs, we've been looking at the celebration of the Sabbath. And Jews around the world, of course, understand the significance of it. And we've discovered just how that is significant with some of the traditions. Now, we've been talking about it. I'm going to need you to help me with this, Mandy, the pronunciations of the three different things. But we've got the lighting of the Sabbath candles. Yep. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Of course, fulfilled by Jesus as the light of the world. Then saying the Kiddush over the wine. You got it. Fulfilled by Jesus through his shed blood. And then the third part was reciting Hamotzi.
Yeah, you got that.
Oh, excellent. And that's recited over the bread.
Can you say the
which is called challah? Challah?
Challah.
Close.
Yeah, it's that little bit of
you
at the back you.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway,
chicken
that's fulfilled,
bone stuck
of course.
In your neck.
Yeah,
that's what
right.
it is.
So we see Jesus coming to earth as the bread of life.
Yeah, these three main elements, and there's incredible spiritual significance that we can see straight away. But the other thing that is very, very special about the Sabbath celebration, you see it particularly in Israel and especially in Jerusalem. We've had some most amazing times where we've been at the Western Wall just to watch how the Jewish people welcome in the Sabbath at the wall. And you will see on the men's side of the Western Wall, the Kotel, you'll see clusters of different groups of Orthodox Jews. They've all got their own various different clothing styles that they wear. So they tend to congregate in clusters around the wall. And it can be like it's chock-a-block full. But oftentimes there will be soldiers, Air Force, Army, whatever, and they'll all be gathered together. They form a circle, got their arms around each other. They've got their guns strapped to their back and they've got their arms around each other and they dance and they sing as the Sabbath comes in. On the other side, you've got the ladies all at the wall and the same thing. They're dancing, they're singing, they've got their arms around each other and there'll be one in the middle and she'll be saying, now we're going to sing this song, and they'll dance. And oftentimes when we've been there, on the occasions we've been able to be there to welcome in the Sabbath, some of our own people will go and join in with them and they'll welcome them with open arms.
That's amazing.
Come and dance with us as we welcome in the Sabbath. They'll sing and dance and it's absolutely fantastic. But when they get together in the dining room to eat their evening meal, we mentioned those three main elements. There's a whole lot more, but those three main elements. But then after all of the formality is done, then there are some very, very special things that take place that are usually done by the head of the family, which is the husband, the father. Now, to start with, after he's gone through those other main elements, then he wants to bless his wife, because most men will recognise that to keep the home together running smoothly, it's his wife that does it. There's something inbuilt into women that God has placed in women where they want to nest and nurture and make a house a home, to make that family environment homey and loving and protective. That's built into women. And so what he will do, not only will he pray and thank God for his wife because he couldn't do it without her, but then oftentimes he will sing Proverbs 31 to her.
Wow.
And it's so lovely while he stands there and he looks at his wife with adoring eyes and will sing Proverbs 31. Now, how would Morgana go if you sang to her at the dining room table? But
she'd melt, but for all the wrong reasons, I
think. Do you know, we were actually participated in some Shabbat meals where the husband and father sang to his wife. And let me tell you something. All the women were swooning.
Wow. Okay,
he was nervous and a little bit shaky because he had an audience this time, but his wife just sat, she just sort of melted to a puddle of goo next to him. But we were kind of, that's so lovely, because she was being honoured. But then after that, after he has blessed and honoured his wife, then the husband and father will go around and bless each of his children, place his hand on their heads each of them, kissing them, embracing them. And then he will pray blessing over the boys. And what he will say is, may God make you like Manasseh and Ephraim. Now, they were the sons of Joseph. Yeah. Those names are used intermittently with the people of God, with the nation of Israel as well. So make you prosperous. I mean, God said to Abraham that his offspring would be like the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore. So this is a blessing of sorts, that God would equip them and empower them to be prosperous in their numbers and strong and united. And then he will also place his hands on each of his daughters, and he will say, and may God make you like Leah and Rachel, Rebecca and Sarah. And remember, these women between them were the matriarchs, the mothers of all the tribes of the house of Israel.
So they were the mothers of the entire nation of Israel, as numerous as the stars in the sky. Yeah. It's just amazing that they are blessing them to have that sort of fruitful abundance.
Yep, absolutely. It's beautiful. And then over his entire family, then the father will say a blessing that is very much like the Aaronic blessing, in that he will say, may the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord shine his face on you and be gracious to you, and may the Lord turn his face to you and give you peace. Wow. And that's how he will conclude these, you'd say it would be the formal portion of this Shabbat meal and celebration. Once all of that is done, they will sing and they will eat and they will talk and they will eat and then they will eat and then they will sing and then they will eat.
Wow.
And there have been times when our groups have watched or observed families in this particular celebration mode. They're so happy and joyful. And some of our more bolder members have gone up and said, this is just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And they've got, well, grab a chair and come and join us, We've had our people been invited to just join them for the Shabbat meal or join them during bar mitzvahs.
Oh, wow.
Come and dance with us and sing. Our boy is now a man, Come and welcome us.
That's
These
amazing.
Celebrations are so incredibly special.
And you can see, the richness of that.
Oh, yes.
You can imagine a family that this is a weekly occurrence. So the boys and the girls growing up under that blessing and, just being prayed over every week.
Yes.
And then, as you say, they go through bar mitzvah. And so you can understand why family is such an important dynamic within this culture. It's very, very rich.
Very, very much so. And let's not forget that mums bless their family, protect them and nurture them and nest and light candles, welcoming in the Sabbath and remembering the covenant. Every single week they're remembering the covenant. Boys are watching their fathers bless their wives, honouring their wives, blessing and protecting and loving their children every single Sabbath night.
It's wonderful.
Every week they're seeing this. And here's the amazing thing. Once again, we've mentioned this before. Jesus is the absolute fulfillment of all of this. And Messianic Jews recognise this. Even though the rest of the Jewish community, they celebrate this every week, they've got all the elements of their Messiah at their fingertips and they don't even recognise him. He's that one blind spot. Messianic Jews see that Jesus is the fulfillment of all of this, going all the way back to Passover, those so many thousands of years ago. And you mentioned it last time that we have what we call the communion meal. Unfortunately, it's becoming, some churches are still having it every week. Jesus actually said, as often as you do this, remember me.
Yeah.
So every time we come together, we're supposed to remember this. But we've kind of diminished it a little bit. Sometimes it's relegated to fortnightly, monthly. Sometimes it's a 6-monthly event, as though it's not so important. We, who actually recognise the symbology, downplay it to our detriment, whereas the Jews who don't understand the symbology celebrate this every single week, missing that one important element who is the centre of it, Jesus.
That's right. All these elements, the bread, the wine, the salt, the remembrance, eternal life, it's all fulfilled in Jesus the Messiah. Well, that wraps up our study on the Sabbath, but as always, the notes are available online at vision.org.au/foundations. And we invite you to join us again next time as we continue to explore the Hebrew foundations of the Christian faith.
This has been Foundations, a look at the Jewish foundations of our Christian faith. For study notes, resources and more, see vision.org.au/foundations.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.